Our first speaker is Agnes from Certis PV. Sorry, Agnes is half of the executive team of Certis PV and holds over 15 years of experience in various areas of the pharma industry, including over a decade of PV and MI experience. So Agnes will be our first speaker this morning and will be delivering an overview of pharmacovigilance in Canada. So please welcome Agnes as our first speaker this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today for this annual Pharmacovigilance Expo. First thing first, congratulations, Raptors. So my role today is to get us all going by giving you a brief overview of the current pharmacovigilance landscape in Canada in the post-marketing context. So I have divided my presentation into two blocks. The first one is what I call the basics, or the old, or the recently revised, but revised in such a way that it does not introduce any unexpected new requirements. It's just, somewhat revised, but not hugely. And the second block is what I call the new. And under the new, I'd like to talk about the ongoing activity for the Canadian-specific targeted risk management plans. I'd like to talk about very briefly, about notifying Health Canada of foreign actions. And I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time on this, as there is a Health Canada speaker having a separate presentation dedicated to that topic exclusively. So I'm just going to briefly introduce it. Similarly for cannabis, I will also only briefly touch upon that, as we have Stephanie Jack giving a presentation solely on that topic later on in the day. And last but not least, I'd like to talk about the Canada vigilance requirements, specifically in the context of the very recent clarification notice that Canada Vigilance released regarding resubmission of Canada Vigilance cases back to Health Canada. So starting with the basics, so we all know where the basics are. We all know that our basic requirements for pharmacovigilance are captured in the Food and Drug Regulations, and in the Natural Health Product Regulations for NHPs. For Food and Drug Regulations, let's start with the prohibition. So C01-016, which simply states no manufacturer shall sell a drug product in Canada unless the manufacturer meets the requirements as outlined in the later subsequent sections of the regulations. So there's been some discussion around the prohibition in the, I would say, maybe past couple of years, 3-4 years ago maybe, particularly as it relates to the definition of sale. So at some point in time, there was indication from Health Canada that they were interpreting or going to start interpreting the definition of sale a little bit differently than what we had been used to up until that point. Specifically, they were talking about the commencement of PV reporting requirements at the time of approval. Health Canada has since moved away from that interpretation, it appears, and we are now back to the definition of sale, as in the manufacturer has the product exposed for sale, in the position for sale, or in the position in their distribution chain, so it's in your warehouse. So this is where your responsibilities commence. This is in contrast to natural health products, for which it is clear that the commencement of your reporting responsibilities starts with the license. When you have the license, you start your reporting activities for NHPs. So moving on through the regulations, we have section C01-017, and that is the section that tells you about the expedited reporting requirements, so the 15-day reporting requirements for all serious domestic and serious unexpected foreign cases. We have section C01-018 that speaks to the requirements related to the preparation of annual summary reports. And the regulation specifically tells you that these annual summary reports have to contain a concise critical analysis that is built into the regulation. We also have a section on issue-related summary reports, which is a little bit newer than the other sections of the regulations, so C01, 019. So these are the reports that you would prepare and submit upon a request from the agency. We also have a